Hey everyone, how's it going? Sal here, back with some more Exsanguinate Scion Ascendant build progress. I was holding off on making this video a little bit because I was holding out hope for finishing off my Ascendancy, but I am playing SSF as I have for the last since SSF came out, and even with the changes to how trials work and you can put an offering into the map device for a trial now, I've had no luck, so I've been stuck on my last couple of ascendancy points, stuck on getting those last two, rather. So I have been making enough progress outside of that aspect of it that I felt like it was time to make another video on it, just to showcase progress and talk about my further thoughts on the skill and character as a whole and all that. I think my last video I was just getting into maps rather, and I've been now breaking into red maps. I tend to progress my atlas pretty wide but steadily, if that makes sense. I like to bring up each region in tandem with one another instead of like focusing hard on one region, just to get a higher atlas bonus, which helps with sustain. You'll see a lot of people complaining about like ALK or map sustain, which is a huge meme at this point, and then you check on their atlas and they've got 4 watchstones as soon as they could so they could get, high red maps or whatever, and they've got like 34 total maps completed, which is not conducive to sustain. So I prefer to focus on everything as a whole, and then hope that by the time I'm getting to actual endgame content, filling out the atlas and whatnot, getting into high reds and eventually doing Cyrus and all that, that I will have enough gear from doing other stuff and whatnot that it'll make it an easier time for me. I also prefer to, on my league start / first character, just get most of the progression done with. At least that's what I did last league, and it seemed to work out enjoyably for me at least, so decided to stick with that strategy this league as well. I've gone a little experimental in my atlas passive choices in some areas compared to what I was familiar with last league. Notably, this map in the background right now is using the Anarchy passives in New Vestier. So first one is a 10% chance to get 20 additional exiles, and then beyond that, the second set of passives, the notable there, which I showed at the beginning of the clip, is 50% chance for exiles to have additional rewards. So that shows up just like Legion Sergeants, or I guess Legion rewards in general, with the little icon above their heads. And I basically picked this out of curiosity and to test something out. I wanted to see if exiles added by map mods, such as the one I added on this map for the 12 additional exiles from the Infused Anarchy map mod from Harvest, and it does indeed count them as random exiles or whatever it says on the passive, which is great because that means the only things that are really excluded are exiles spawned from mechanics inside the map. So like the map device mod was not from inside the map, but spawning an exile from, I think, either Prophecy or Strongboxes would not count them as random, and so they wouldn't have the 50% chance at extra rewards. Pretty much all the other regions I went with choices that are still pretty solid, if not a little different than what I picked last league. So I think last league, Yeah, I must have finished Lyra Arthane in the bottom right region, but I don't think I picked any of the bestiary passives. I don't think I picked any of the bestiary passives anywhere on the Atlas, come to think of it. So I've decided to go that route this time with the Nerfed Harvest, hoping that the new beast crafting recipes will help make up for that in some way. Specifically like the Exalt ones or the imprints for certain items. Obviously they're going to be hard to come by, so I want to use them sparingly, but we'll see how that goes later on in the league. For sure. And yeah, apart from that, I've been running into some damage issues as I've gotten into higher tier maps, like I said, getting into reds. So I made some adjustments to the passive tree, as well as I am now considering switching the build to low life at one point, which is another reason for making this video. I wanted to get in one last progress video before the low life switch over, if I end up doing that, which towards the end of yellow maps, or maybe around like tier 7, 8, I started to consider it more. And now that I'm into reds, I'm definitely more strongly considering it, especially because of some of the things I have, some of the resources I have available to me at the moment. I've also been keeping an eye on PoE Ninja, the SSF, softcore tracker side of it, just seeing if which direction people are taking the Exsanguinate Scion general idea in, and it seems like as time goes on, people have been transitioning more into low life. I was mostly skeptical at first because it would be a slight, well, not slight necessarily, but fairly noticeable decrease in one-shot insulation, effective HP against one-shots, rather. So that was a negative point for me, but given that most things that happen are not one-shots in the true sense of the word, and that it's not a singular hit that's killing people, or at least killing me, then I'm more comfortable going with low life Petrified Blood, because if it's a series of like large hits that would kill me instead of a single big hit, then Petrified Blood is great in that situation because it increases your effective HP rather than decreasing it. So I'll talk about that in just a minute. Just wanted to get the gameplay out of the way, and yeah, that was about it. So I guess I'll hop in game now. And here we are back in game. First of all, some gear upgrades. Shortly after my last video, I actually found this 6 link in an Ultimatum, I believe. Yeah, it's item level 68, so I think it came from a white map, Ultimatum reward. White as in tier 1, I don't know why. Didn't specify further, but threw an essence at it, which for the chaos res, and rolled an open prefix, just threw on life, got the highest roll first try. I still don't have the next highest life roll because there's a 5th rank to this, because I've been too lazy to figure out which map. You unlock it in and go for it, but that would be even more life on this. Last video I was at about 3.9k, very close to 6k now. If I go low life, obviously that's going to get cut in a little less than half, but yeah, still kind of waiting on a couple of things to make that happen. Other than that, I'm still using the same shield, because this is kind of hard to replace if I want to prioritize spell block, which I still do. Just to, hopefully this in-game audio isn't too loud, but 64% spell block right now. If I take off the shield, or remove the 12% from it rather, I'd be at 52. I've still got a little bit of spell block left to pick up if I want. Pretty much just this 8% here for 2 points. and it would just be the block because I don't benefit from the mana or the regen really. But yeah, I would rather prioritize capping out my spell block a little bit more than not, I suppose. Obviously, I'm going to have to do a little bit more to close that out. I think I would be fine sitting at 72, but I don't think I'm going to end up with 12% spell block on my endgame shield unless I get extremely lucky. Apart from that, running an Immortal Flesh for the regen helps a little bit, you know, whatever regen I can get. Sitting at 516 right now with a level 20 Vitality and the Immortal Flesh plus my passives. I have a little bit there. Other than that, Wand got a minor upgrade over the previous one. Cold Res doesn't matter. Has a little bit of spell damage, or quite a bit of spell damage, and a significant amount of cast speed over my previous one. And everything else is life and resist for the most part. No notable like enchants or weird stuff going on, no influenced items. I switched out my sulfur for a basalt flask because for a while I was running, instead of steel skin, I had Immortal Call on my left click, and I was pathed down the left side here and picked up Call to Arms and Bloodless. I decided I didn't really want to do that anymore because it was kind of a long way to travel, 5 points for 13% health and an instant war cry, Enduring Cry, rather, at the cost of not using steel skin because, let's be honest, if my guard skill isn't on my left click, I'm probably not going to use it at all. But I did have one leveling in the background in case I wanted to switch. And I ended up picking up Unwavering Stance because I kept blocking big enough hits that it would stun me during ultimatums. And I don't have enough stun and block recovery for that not to feel terrible and almost kill me. So I just decided to go Unwavering Stance, which meant that speccing out of this way and down this way meant I could pick up these two nodes instead of, or at the cost of 1 point. So it's effectively 1 point for a little bit more health, I believe. Scratch that actually. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same amount of points, except now I'm forced to go this way. So I'll probably spec out of that later and optimize out of that. Yeah. Whoops. Got a bit ahead of myself there. Anyways, like I said early on in the video, I was hoping to get these passives by now. I am level 91. I've seen dozens of trials in maps, and I have a single offering left. The only one I'm missing is Swirling Fear, and I have not gotten one. So, yay. I think there are ways you can target farm offerings. I tried doing some like heist lockpicking stuff for the fragments, because I think you used to get them there a decent amount. But no luck so far on any of that. I just do every trial I come across in maps and immediately throw the offering into the map device to hope to get Swirling Fear. And once I do that, I can actually spec into these 3 points, and I might end up speccing out of this entire portion over here, because a decent amount of travel for things I won't really benefit from, because I need to prioritize getting to Growth and Decay, Entropy, and all of this over here. I know a lot of people don't go down over here. I value Vitality Extraction pretty highly. The flash charges are nice, even though it's a little slow. The life on kill is great. If there's another way I could get that, like permanently, then I'd be a lot more comfortable dropping this whole section over here. But it's a little more worth given that I'm going Unwavering Stance. At least I thought so. Looks to be not the case, but oh well, you live and learn, I guess. For a while, I had started pathing over here to Growth and Decay, but when my damage started falling off, I spec'd out of that and used my only Fizz dot multi medium cluster I had here. Got pretty much whatever. This is pretty decent. The 12 multi helps a lot because I'm low on that overall. And there's another 12 from the small passives. So yeah, that helped tremendously. Tooltip right now is 93k. I thought it was higher than that, but yeah, not too bad overall. My goal from here is, like I said, I'm going to transition into low life. I want to get an Elder Amulet for physical damage leech, generic physical damage leech, which given the big hits that Exsanguinate deals, 14 to 21k here. Using Petrified Blood, that'll get me the permanent, 20% leech, which will pretty much enable me to go low life, because otherwise it's really not worthwhile if you don't have a good method of recovery, which I guess now that I think of it, if I'm sitting at 20% regen pretty steadily or consistently, I might not need Vitality Extraction. So I'll probably end up trying to drop this at some point just to see how it goes. And then, well, I guess if I do, it'll end up in a video. So yeah, we'll discuss it then. Then apart from that, I have a Warlord Shield now at level 78. Not that that's super important, but I'm going to be either Harvest or Fossil crafting this to roll life mods for percent life on block. So, and then if I can/need to, I will craft a lesser percentage spell block. You can get 4 to 5% here at the second rank, which is obviously lower than I have, but can be made up for with Mystic Bulwark. Other itemization things, I want to switch over to Blessed Boots base at some point. Don't know what I will put in it. I guess I could put my Flame Dash there along with Steel Skin and Second Wind. Yeah, that actually seems like a solid idea. So I'll probably end up doing that. Apothecary's Gloves, also great. Up to 18% damage over time, which is great for things like this, or what is it? Toxic Rain, Caustic Arrow, because they don't scale off of projectile attack damage, which Grip Gloves give. So yeah, those would be great for that. I'm also yeah, here we are. Finally picked up a Bone Helmet. Haven't switched over yet. All of my gear is pretty easily replaceable, especially if I swap my belt for something, because I'm so overcapped on resist. So I'm thinking when I switch to low life, I'll just use the Hysteria that I have on the Bone Helmet, which will give Socketed Gems deal 30% more damage while in low life, which will just be 30% more damage to Corrupting Fever. Other things on the damage front, this is like the 5th or 6th Exsanguinate I've corrupted. I've got 2 in here. I've recycled some with Harvest. You do the Corrupted Gem as a Faceter's Lens, and I've been using that on other ones. So, and then throwing the quality crafts on them whenever I can. Yep, corrupt them when they get to 20. Nothing so far, but keep trying. Maybe eventually get a 21 Exsanguinate. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The build has felt pretty solid so far. I have no major complaints about it. I think it was a great league starter, or has been so far. Obviously, I've still got content to do. I've got, I'm on my 3rd round of Watchstones right now, so I have 9. I think this is my 10th. So, still working my way towards Cyrus, and we'll see how that handles him. But yeah, I'm very satisfied with having tried a new skill and it worked and is mechanically solid enough to keep going. Yeah, I have no major complaints. I definitely recommend this for people that seem interested in it. Although I don't think anybody making it to this point needs me to tell them that. Anyways, yeah, this has turned into a long ramble, as per my MO. Or as is my MO, I suppose. So yeah, I guess I'll call that here and be back at a later date. If you're still watching at this point for whatever reason, thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. See you around.